All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Computer Applications. Today's episode will be pretty quick and painless because we're really only looking at three basic things again here. Undoubtedly, you're familiar with one of them. For example, if you have a piece of text, you know you can add a bold, which makes the text bigger and bolder. Right? You can add the italics, which will give it a little slant cursive look, or you can add an underline, which adds underline to the text. Right? These are pretty straightforward things. I have no doubt that most of you are familiar with them. One other tool that I want to point out to you, though, if we come up here to the Tools menu, is you have this spelling and grammar thing. Spelling and grammar is really useful. Undoubtedly, many of you are familiar with Google automatically checking your spelling and your grammar as you go along, but there's actually a tool they have built in just for making its way through it. You can go to the Tools menu, or they even have a little button here that you can click. And you'll notice that you can kind of move through the various different things, right, as it's checking the grammar of Abraham Lincoln's second inaugural address. If you have a change that it looks like you want to make there, you can click accept and it'll automatically swap that for you. One other thing I do want to point out to it too is that inside spelling and grammar, you guys also have a personal dictionary. I would say that for the most part, you're probably never going to want to add anything to your personal dictionary. I, for example, have a lot of the faculty in here, right? So I type the Adamak name quite frequently, and it was getting annoying having Google constantly flag Adamak as being spelled incorrectly. So I ended up adding it to my own personal dictionary. But again, for the most part, that's probably not something that you're going to mess with. I just wanted to point out that it's there. In addition, the other thing that we need to take a look at is the dictionary tool, right? If you, the way that I like to get to this is if you click on a word, let's say encouraging here, if you right click on it, you can actually come down to these two options here. So you have explore and define. Define is really useful because as you see for words that have synonyms with them, you can actually see them come up, right? It'll also give you the dictionary definition and how it can be used. So if we're using encourage as a verb here, right, you have other synonyms, things like hearten, cheer, to uplift or buoy up, to egg on, to spur on, right? So you have these options here that you can take a look at for different spelling and grammar choices. Since we're here, the other thing I want to point out to you is the explore option. If you right click on explore, what will happen is Google will search the web for that word. So you can take a look at the various definitions and things here, right? You can pull in pictures and images real quick for what it means to encourage and what that looks like. You can also take a look at your Google Drive for that as well. That's all we have for today, though. So you're going to want to go ahead and get started with that.